Hey YouTube, it's Little Rocker Cutie 2005, also known as Andre, back again with you guys with yet another review, and this time I am reviewing 8 Mile. This movie stars Eminem in his, I want to say his feature debut, because this is his first movie, and it's loosely based on his life story, which most fans like me know his life story. You know, grew up in a bad home. You know, mother was abusive. You know, Munchausen syndrome, whatnot. But basically, it's loosely based because all the characters are different. You know, his name is Jimmy Smith Jr. and then if I remember correctly, it's been a week or so since I watched this. He hangs out with this dude named Future, played by Mekhi Phifer, and they're trying to make it big in the hip hop world. But at this point, this takes place in 1995 in Detroit, where in rap, nobody white was going to make it because the whole Vanilla Ice thing had happened a couple years before that, and so he's trying to keep himself, I can't even think of the expression, nose to the grindstone, because he wants to make it big in rap. And so, he's trying, and in the opening scene, the opening battle, he basically chokes, and the crowd all laughs at him and everything. They think he can't do it, and it basically becomes a talk of like his neighborhood. And so his girlfriend's throwing him out. He has to go live with his mom, played by Basinger, who's actually shacking up with a real asshole that Jimmy and Future went to school with, played by excuse me. He's actually played by Michael Shannon from The Runaways, the guy who played Kim Fowley, the manager. But this guy, he's a drunk, he's a real dick. I'm sorry, I'm gonna put that this review contains a bit of harsh language, but this is one of those movies that I watched and it just ticks me off. But and then there's this group called Leaders of the Free World. They're like Eminem and Future's group's main rivals, and so they're basically going back and forth, and there's a few scenes with different rap battles and everything, and Eminem's just basically ripping everybody up in each battle, which is cool. And then he meets this girl named Alex, played by Brittany Murphy, and he kind of falls in love with her. And there's a scene where him and her are just getting it on like right in the factory, and they get it. There's a little later they get into it with the Leaders of the Free World, and this guy named Cheddar Bob, who runs with Jimmy and Future. They call Jimmy Bunny Rabbit, by the way, or B Rabbit. Cheddar Bob has a gun, and they tell him to put it away, and so he puts it away, but ends up shooting himself in the leg, which is just stupid. I mean, wouldn't you think to put the safety on? So they take him to the hospital, and then Jimmy goes back home, and they find out his mother's been evicted, and so it's like a day or two later, and the boyfriend has now found out that they've been evicted, and he confronts Jimmy about it, and then, his mom tries to say, "Don't worry, I'll get the money," and he just smacks her, which pisses Jimmy off, so he just starts whipping the shit out of him, which, speaking as a mother's son, I would do that too. But he just starts just beating the crap out of him, and I'm like, you had it coming, buddy. But there's that scene. Later on, there's this other guy named Wink who's been making appearances through the whole movie. He mainly runs with the Leaders of the Free World, and he's basically been lying his way to B Rabbit and his crew, trying to say, "Oh well, I can get you a demo, this, that, and the other thing." So Bunny Rabbit goes to the studio to meet with Wink and the dudes he's working with to get his demo recorded, and he finds Wink screwing Alex, and so he runs in there, beats the tar out of Wink, and so it's a little bit later, and he's picked up his little sister. Actually, his little sister is based on his daughter Haley, and the leaders of the free world all roll up, and he tells little sister Lily to go in the house, and she does. She locks the door, and then leaders of the free world, they come out and just start beating the shit out of Jimmy. Meanwhile, Lily's screaming, "Don't do it, stop it," and it basically, it gets to the end of the movie where Jimmy's working at the stamping factory. It's like a Detroit stamping or something like that, and Leaders of the Free World to beat him up. Alex shows up and tells him that she's leaving for New York, and basically, that inspires him to go and basically get revenge on the leaders of the free world by taking them on in the rap battle the Future hosts at this place called The Shelter, which is actually a real place down in Detroit. Man, I mean, this was actually filmed in Detroit, so all these places are real locations. And so basically, he's battling, going through the leaders of the free world, taking them out one by one with these killer hooks. And it is just amazing to watch. I mean, he takes them all out, he wins, and it's just a great uplifting kind of ending. And then you got the amazing soundtrack. I mean, there's tracks done by Eminem himself. There's Notorious B.I.G. There's a lot of good songs. I mean, Eminem did the song Lose Yourself, and it won an Oscar. And I'm sorry, I keep trying to get comfortable here. But I think that's pretty much, all I can say about 8 Mile, except for one thing I do want to mention. The trailer park that they shot that in is actually the trailer park that Eminem lived in at one point. And come to find out, my mom, when she moved to Michigan, lived in that very same trailer park. So, that's kind of a cool piece of history for, my family to share, kind of like with that Eminem lived in that neighborhood that my mom started out in. But, that's all I'm going to go into about 8 Mile. I hope you guys have seen it. If not, you need to check it out. Once again, it's Little Rocker Cutie 2005, also known as Andre. I'm telling you to enjoy life, enjoy some Skittles, enjoy some Starburst. Immortal words of my faithful partner Chris. He always says, eat some chicken. I'll see you guys later. Peace out.